Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Wrexham Football Club, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video that I've been wanting to do for a long while, and a video that I think will educate a lot of you watching at home. Today I'm going to be bringing you the ultimate championship guide for Wrexham Football Club next season. Everything you need to know about the cup competitions, how much Wrexham earn for being in the championship next year, the games, the international breaks, the teams we're going to be playing against, everything you need to know about us jumping into the championship next season for the first time in 40 years is going to be in today's video. Before we get talking about that, if you are new to the channel and if you're looking for the best Wrexham content on YouTube, this is the place to be. Make sure to get down there and click that subscribe button. Like I said, if you would like to see more content coming your way across the whole of this summer, we're expecting some big news in terms of signings, departures, just in general news relating to Wrexham. We're going to see a lot of it this summer, so make sure you also click the notification bell so you're notified every time a video comes your way. So speaking first on the cup competitions, starting off with the Papa John's, the Virtue, the Pizza Cup, everything everyone has called it over the past few years, also known as the EFL Trophy. Championship teams do not compete in the EFL Trophy, so Wrexham will not have to bother with those pointless midweek fixtures against the often League One, League Two and Under 21 Premier League team. There'll be no more for us, and obviously last season we remember Wrexham reached the semi-final against Peterborough. We played 7 games on our route to the semi-final, so that's 7 more fixtures than we'll play in the Championship next season. And you're looking at this competition, it was good for the players, the squad players who weren't getting much game time. It was good to get a glimpse of those, the likes of Mo Farrell, Anthony Ford, James Jones, the players last season who weren't getting any game time in the league, but to see them in the cup competitions was good. But ultimately I think everyone's pleased that this is a competition we'll see no more, because yes, it was a good chance to get to Wembley, but you look at the fixtures, you think, oh, that could have been a Tuesday night game in the league, but no, it's Wrexham against Wolverhampton Wanderers under 21s. It was good, like I said, for the squad players, for them to get minutes, and I'm sure they enjoyed it because it was being out there at the racecourse ground playing. But for the fans, it's a bit of a pointless competition. Talking on the FA Cup next, now this really puts into perspective how far Wrexham have come in a very short amount of time. For me personally, and I think for the fans that have supported the club obviously longer than the takeover, it'll really put it into perspective, because Wrexham enter the third round of the FA Cup next season. Will come into the third round alongside the 20 Premier League teams and the other 23 Championship teams. Now, just 3 seasons ago, Wrexham would have to win 3 games just to reach the third round, and we always thought of reaching the third round as a big thing for the football club in terms of getting that possible Championship or Premier League team in the third round. It was good exposure, it was good money for the club, but I think now that we don't have to win any games, we'll automatically come in with the likes of Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, the big teams. Wrexham will come in, and to be honest, there'll be a lot of lower league teams now looking at this draw and thinking it's a good chance to play Wrexham, which for years upon years is just what we dreamed of. We dreamed of, when we were in the non-league, getting that Championship Premier League team. You remember Brighton, Hove Albion, we obviously had Brentford all those many years ago in 2010. I think that wasn't such a big of a gap then, but we had Stoke, of course, away. So it's a massive luxury for the fans that we get to enter into the third round, and it increases our chances, of course, now of getting that Premier League team, which we have dreamt of still in the Championship for many, many years. And the final competition, the Carabao Cup. Now, it's the same as the past 2 seasons that Wrexham have been in the EFL. Wrexham will enter the first round of the Carabao Cup alongside the Championship, League One and 22 out of the 24 League Two teams. And talking on the big one now, international breaks. This is something we'll have to get used to, is weekends without having Wrexham Football Club playing at the racecourse ground or playing a Championship fixture. There'll be 4 weekends this season where Wrexham won't be in action on the weekend due to, of course, the international breaks. Those weekends fall on the 6th of September, the 11th of October, 15th of November and the 28th of March 2026. This will obviously result in us having more midweek fixtures due to the rescheduling to accompany the international breaks where, Wales, England, etc. will all be playing. So it's disappointing that we'll have more midweek fixtures that are likely going to be away games, but I don't think that will stop the Wrexham fans from travelling. Hopefully we'll have a few at home at the racecourse ground. It also means for the international fans and for the fans in the UK that won't be able to travel to those games, it'll likely mean more games will be shown on Sky Sports. So it's a win-win situation for obviously those fans. But yeah, there'll be a lot more international breaks, which again, thinking 3 years ago when we were in the non-league, we'd have like one player in the whole of the league that would have got called up to play for their country. No issue at all. But now there'll be a load of players that would be called up to their international countries. So that is quite crazy, but disappointing at the same time. Talking now on finances, something that a lot of my subscribers are very interested on. Wrexham are set to receive around £11 million next season just for being in the Championship. 50% of that comes from a basic award amount and 50% is also a solidarity payment. Last season in League One, Wrexham FC made an estimated £2 million to £2.5 million for being in League One. So it's a massive step up. Of course, we know that. We're going to see obviously broadcasting rights, the income from that we'll get talking on in just a second. Sponsorships, just for being in the Championship alone, the increased exposure, the financial side of things is going to be a lot bigger and the jump is going to be a lot bigger. So clubs get more income from that. And the £187 million split between EFL clubs for the new broadcasting deal, which came into place last season on Sky Sports, is also included into the basic award amount that we do receive, obviously in that 50% of the £11 million. So that's an even share amongst, the Championship teams, and then it goes to a smaller share in League One and then an even smaller share in League Two. So I think it's pretty obvious that from this we're going to generate a lot more revenue from being on Sky Sports, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if the opening day fixture is Wrexham playing on that Friday evening on Sky Sports against one of the likes of Leicester City, Southampton, because Wrexham, we know it, we generate a lot of eyeballs onto the club, and we're probably, and this isn't me trying to sound big-headed or anything, but I think we're going to generate a lot more eyeballs on the Championship due to the exposure the club has had over the past couple of seasons. Sky Sports seems to love us, so I wouldn't be surprised, and don't be surprised at home if you see us on the opening day on the Friday night. Yeah, and I think as well, if we're looking more on the income, sponsorship as well will no doubtedly significantly increase next season, with us being in a league which already has millions of eyeballs on it already. Now, if you look at our financial report, in League Two, our sponsorship income was £13.1 million. So do I dare dream to think what that number is going to be in the Championship, one league below the Premier League, the 7th strongest league in Europe? I can easily see this number tripling, probably going to at least 30 million plus. So it's going to be, a big field where Wrexham are going to generate a lot of income next season. And I think our financials for the financial report that will come out in 2 years' time, I believe, is going to look a lot bigger, and a lot bigger in terms of the numbers that we see on that sheet, because things are getting very, very serious now. Talking on the wages now, our wage bill will also rise this season. I don't think I really have to say this, but it should be plain on paper that Wrexham obviously are going to spend a lot more money on players. We're going to see players leave, but Parky will be targeting obviously a higher calibre of players because we're in the Championship now. Again, it's self-explanatory. We're going to be aiming for those higher league players, those higher quality players. So it's a hit we're going to have to take, but it's apparent that we've got a decent sized budget, reported to be around £20 million. And if we're looking at the income that Wrexham have made, like I said, from sponsorships from other fields, we won't be affected by FFP this season. So I think we could be looking at around, like I said, a £20 million budget without being affected by FFP, which is obviously financial fair play, which could result in a points deduction. But Wrexham, I don't think that's going to affect us at all, because we make a lot of money as it stands and we generate what we can spend. And looking on the whole on the wage bills in the Championship, now last season the average was around £15 million. Now according to Capology, Wrexham's last season was around £9 million. So it's very possible that number does rise to £15 million next season. Could it go beyond that? Could we see that £9 million double to £18 million? Parky is very sensible when it comes to transfers. He won't spend for the sake of it. I think, however, with the players that we have been rumoured with in the transfer window, don't be surprised if we are in the top half, the top 12 of teams in their wage bills in the Championship next season, because we need to be competitive. We've obviously seen the first signing of Ryan Hardy. It's a statement of intent, and I think we're going to see many more signings come. Of course, players are going to leave, which will obviously free up wages and free up the money in terms of that. But again, I think we're going to see a lot of signings happen, so don't be surprised if we see that number significantly rise. It's possibly to double that 9 million. And the teams next season Wrexham will be playing in the Championship. It is a dream come true for us, especially the fans that have stuck through us through thick and thin. Obviously, my first game at Wrexham was 2013, I think it was, the end of the 2012-13 league fixture, with then of course went to Wembley. So I've been supporting this club for 13 and a half years now, and we'd be used to playing the likes of Aldershot, Dagenham and Redbridge, all those teams that, again, like I said, every single season without failure Wrexham would be playing. But it's a completely different ball game now. We're going to be playing the likes of Leicester City, who won the Premier League 10 seasons ago today. Southampton, West Brom, Norwich City, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, all of these big historical clubs that, you know, I grew up watching on Match of the Day. I've collected hundreds of Match Attacks trading cards from those teams I've just said, and to see us playing them in person, seeing those teams come into the racecourse, those calibre of players that they do have in those teams, like I said, that we've been watching on Match of the Day for years, will be quite special, and it'll be really testament to how far we've come under Rob and Ryan and how well they've done to unlock that potential at this football club. And so I think in 2 calendar years we've gone from Dorking Wanderers to Southampton. I mean, has anyone really done that before? It is ridiculous, like I said, the rise this football club has been on. So talking away from the likes of the finances, the players coming in, we're talking now on the football club. Now, work has been commencing on our new £1 million hybrid pitch ahead of next season in the Championship. Work's been going on for just over a month now. The undersoil heating and the drainage systems have been installed and it looks to be coming on really well. I'll overlay pictures on screen. There was a really good guy that does drone footage. I'll leave the link in the comment section down below to that video, but he showed, you know, the temporary stand, the pitch really well. It has come along so well in the past fortnight, because the last time I saw it, it was just completely sand, so it seems to be coming along really well. It'll obviously be suitable to host international fixtures. We're likely to see rugby being played back at the racecourse ground, obviously, that they used to play about 5-10 years ago. And if we're looking as well on the temporary stand, that has been completely taken down ahead of work on the new 7,500 seater cop stand. I believe they're working underground first and making their way up before they obviously start work on the base of the new cop stand. It's really exciting. We'll obviously have that timeline of being inside the racecourse ground, you know, seeing the cop stand go up through every game that we do attend at the racecourse ground next season. But it also means Wrexham are going to have the smallest ground in the Championship next season by 2,500. Obviously, we're going to be a 3-stand team alongside Oxford United, who I think have the second smallest with 12,500. So it's going to be interesting to see. We're rolling back the years, 2-3 years ago when we had just the 3 stands, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference on the atmosphere. I think the atmosphere, again, when we didn't have that temporary stand up, was still electric. But like I said, it's sort of the start of the journey now to that monumental cop stand, which will take the club up to a completely different level, and it all starts to feel really real now and very, very exciting. Some very interesting news that you might not have heard on. Now, work on the new dugouts at Wrexham in the Mould Road stand has also started, so the dugouts will be changing from the Wrexham Lager, the Yale stand, whatever you call it, and they'll be going over to the Mould Road stand. It's been on the agenda for years now, and it's only obviously just started work. There's obviously been that massive gap in the Mould Road stand for years, which I think needed to be filled with the dugouts, and it made a lot more sense. So it'll be a very strange sight to see, obviously, the players, the managers. Just imagine Phil Parkinson clapping the tech end before a big game. The place will be rocking, and like I said, he'll get to know the fans in the Mould Road stand. It'll be very interesting, a very strange sight to see them over there, but again, another change that is worth noting. So that is it for today's video. That's everything I think you need to know about Wrexham being in the Championship next season. It is going to be a really good journey, and if we're only in it for 1 season, if we get relegated, then so be it. We're not expected to really kick on, of course. We've only seen 1 signing of Ryan Hardy, but again, it feels like the season's really starting to kick on, and it seems like the season isn't far off now. It's going to be a very fun summer, seeing the signings, the departures, everything going on at the football club. But yeah, it's an exciting time to be a Wrexham fan. What I would say is cherish every moment of this Championship campaign. Cherish the away games you're going to be going to, because it's not guaranteed we're going to be in this division for, you know, the next coming years. So if you're looking to get to the likes of Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester, Hillsborough, I would totally recommend it, and I'm sure thousands of fans will be, because we're living in some special times at this football club at the minute, and it's only going to get better. So yeah, that's it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button for more Wrexham content on YouTube, and I'll see you in another video. Take care, guys. Up the Championship Reds.